Welcome, humans. It is I, Queen Melodist, back at it again. Last year, I reviewed and ranked every single Eurovision entry. And you know what? This year, I'm going to do the same again. Now, in overall, this year was a bit mid. In fact, it was very mid. It was not as good as last year, and last year wasn't that good either. 2024 remains the best year of the decade, the best year of the decade so far, with 2014 being the best decade of the 2010s, at least in my opinion. But this year was full of flawed songs and disastrous songs. But there were good moments. So we might as well have a look, try and rank them all, and see where we are. So, luckily this is A to Z, so that helps me. We're going to start off with Albania, with the song Na by Alice. And this is a very meaningful ballad by the guy. Very pretty. It's about his mother. It's very nice, but it doesn't stand out that much. It is not that enjoyable to listen to. The vibes are very much more sort of, it feels like he's disappointed his mother rather than like a touching emotional piece. So it didn't really do anything for me. I'm going to put it in C tier. Next up we have Simone with Paloma Rumba for Armenia.
Let's go!
Now this is very intense. It is a wall of noise. There's so much going on. It is unrelenting and really not good, actually. It's very bad. It's more annoying than catchy, but I can kind of see what they were trying to do. In the end, is probably let down by the production and the mixing. And I can say that because I'm a producer and I'm quite good at mixing. And this one just did not sound particularly enjoyable to listen to. Next time perhaps. Next time up we have Australia, Delta Goodrum with Eclipse. This was a very, very pretty song, actually, very nice, and she really performs it well on stage. It's a good one. Now, I produce EDM. Ballads are not normally my thing, and one of the interesting trends that I've noticed that we saw a lot in this year, which is very contrasting to the years before, is that the ballads they'll put like an EDM beat on top of the ballad, and it'll be quite a fast-paced beat, like at 140 to 160 BPM. And this one has, and it's 4 on the floor, and this one has that, and it sort of comes in halfway through, and you get this fast kick drum beat. And I'm not sure how well that trend works. You also get this in like Finland and a couple others. I'm not sure how well that works as a style. Personally, I think I prefer the, albeit generic, but I prefer the mid-tempo half-time mid-tempo kind of style that we used to have with ballads, where it would always be like you'd have your ballad star singing, and in the background you have bum bum ch bum bum ch bum bum ch bum. It was, every song was like that. I kind of prefer that. I think the vibes are a bit better. Australia, though, on the other hand, it was a fine song, good presence on stage, especially live. Yeah, I liked it, but not quite for me. Next up, we have Cosmo with Tanshine for Austria. This was fun, funky. I liked it. It's danceable. The chorus, it's got a nice little dance that you can remember. It's produced very well. It's not the loudest in terms of like, it doesn't like wham you with well, this sort of hard-hitting beat or anything. It's quite sort of subtle in a way, and it doesn't feel like it should be, but it is. The voice is quite... Obviously, he's got this very deep voice, deep gravelly voice that he does for the chorus, and I think it's good, but I'm not quite sure that's what works the best. I prefer the moments where the gravelly voice is not used, but maybe if they pushed the sort of mixing and mastering a little further, did a little more, added some layers, it could make that chorus really step up to the next level. But it was a fun song, definitely, for sure. So what I will do is put it in B tier. Next up, Azerbaijan, Jiva with Just Go. This was a ballad, and it was one of the ballads of all time. There's not much to say about this one. It's painfully generic, and it exists. Definitely. I'm gonna put it in D tier though, because it's not that good. There's not that much to say about it. Apparently there was some AI stuff, I don't know. It's just not that good. Next up, we're going quickly. Next up, Belgium, Esila with Dancing on the Ice. Now this is pretty funky. It's 4 on the floor, sort of slow house. I mean, that's alright, isn't it? It's fine, but it's not particularly standout. And especially watching it during the semi-finals and the finals, and this was the first year I actually watched the semi-finals, because normally I don't like to spoil the songs for the final, but this time I did, and it didn't really stand out. The performance during those two was kind of not that great, especially at the beginning. It really didn't sound particularly confident, so I can't give it that high rewards, unfortunately. So I'm going to put it in C tier. I don't think it's bad, but it's not great. Next up, Bulgaria, Dara with Bangaranga, and this was the winner, the eventual winner of the contest. And it was well deserved. This is an awesomely catchy song. I liked it ever since I'd heard it for the first time. This is a brilliant song, and I'm so happy that it won. Not just because the one that it beat was Israel, and that came second, and me and my mother, who I was watching it with, and my friends who I was chatting with online, we were we were clenching our butts at the time, for sure, because that could have been bad had Israel won. This would have been maybe the last year of Eurovision, because the controversy would just spiral out of control. I can't imagine. I'm glad Bulgaria won, and they brought an excellent song. I don't think it's perfect. I think that the BPM changes are a little... They hit well, they hit nicely, but it is a little bit sort of startling. It's a little abrupt for me. But it's a cool moment. It's definitely a memorable moment. And the instrumental choice isn't my favourite, but I think it's a great song. Next up, Croatia with Lelek with their song Andromeda. This has wonderful harmonies. Very, very pretty harmonies, and it sort of reminds me a little bit... It's like a dark version of Tautumaitas from last year, which I really liked. This isn't... I don't like it quite as much as I liked them last year, but I do still like this a lot. I think it's a good, pretty song. It doesn't quite have a sort of a hook. It doesn't have a moment where you're just like, whoa, like Tautumaitas did last year, but it is good. And so I'm going to put it in B tier, and I'm going to put it at, I believe, yeah, just after Australia. That's fine. Cyprus, Antigone with Jala. this is a song that had good ideas. I don't think this is a good song. I think this is a very not good song. I don't think it worked at all. The millennial chants going on, I didn't enjoy. I don't find the singing to be particularly good, especially at the final performance. It all sounded a bit flat, a bit off. So I'm going to put it in D tier. It was not for me, and I don't know how it qualified. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It was just bad for me. Next up, Czechia. Daniel Žižka with Crossroads. This was a ballad, but it was a really good one. Some of the progressions, the chord progressions, the harmonies, it's like they were tailor-made for me. I really, really loved the progression, the chords, the harmonies. It is a wonderful, wonderful, beautiful song. But at the same time, it does feel a little bit meandering at points. Like there's not a hook line that you can sort of attach to. There's great moments. Obviously, you've got the climax at the end with the long held note, very pretty. But sort of on the journey there's lots of really good moments, but nothing that hooks you completely in. And perhaps that's me as an EDM producer saying that. Next up, Denmark. Søren Torpegarlund with Fervigorium. I really like this. I think this is a great song, and we're going to put this up into A tier as well. This has the same thing as Czechia's entry in that there are some moments, there are some chord and harmony progressions that feel like they are tailor-made to make me very happy. Not all of the time. There are not all of the melodies and harmonies that are in this are like that for me, which is why I put it underneath Crossroads, which does have that. I think this is a really wonderful song most of the time, not all of the time, but when it's like really melodic and has that that's lovely, that's beautiful. That's one of those wonderful, wonderful moments during the whole contest. One of my favourite moments. The production is not quite as good. I don't think the beat is that strong. The beat is you've got your 4 on the floor kick, which comes in a bit later, and then you have this sort of slightly garagey percussion sort of loop. Yeah, and it doesn't quite do it for me. It's fine, I just think that a different beat could have perhaps suited it better. Either something 4 on the floor indeed, but like a more house style drums, or a halftime set of drums, like we used to see back in the 10s. Maybe I'm just nostalgic for that time. Probably not. Next up, Estonia. Vanilla Ninja with Too Epic to Be True. Now this one was not epic, nor was it true. It's really this song is not pleasant. it's cheesy, and sometimes that can be a good thing. This time it is not a good thing. This time it is a very bad thing. It feels inauthentic in the worst possible way. It's like you've got this terrible year, 2026, just everything terrible happening, and it's like, okay, maybe you can either put in like a song like Lithuania that's sort of like, yeah, this is a bad world, a difficult world, but we have to live in it, you know, that sort of, or you can go with something danceable and fun like the bangaranga, or you can just ignore everything, make the most tone deaf, like outdated song of all time that sounds like it comes from a children's cartoon. I'm really sorry, it's just not good, and the production's not that good either. It feels like it's in mono, it feels claustrophobic, but they did try, so props to them for that. It's not good. Sorry. Finland up next, with Lena and Pete with Liekenheiten. Now this was a very lovely, very wonderful song. People thought this was gonna sweep. When I was looking at the bookies, not betting obviously, but looking to see what other people thought might win, this one was like 36%. This was the highest percentage chance. They thought this was gonna sweep. And eventually it sort of turned over. People started thinking it could be Australia, which it wasn't. People thought this was going to be so good, and then it was just very good. So in some ways that's a disappointment, but not really. It was good, but not like not outstanding. Maybe a winner's performance in some eyes, but it could have done a bit better. I think that the production was not amazing. I think the mixing, especially on the violin, it was a lot. And couple that with the 4 on the floor fast beat, instead of going for something that perhaps suited the atmosphere a bit more, the beat it stuck out like a sore thumb, really. I don't think that worked quite so well, but the vocals were nice, the melodies were nice, the violin playing was lovely, but I don't think it quite stuck the landing in every way. So I'm going to put it in A tier. Next up, France. Monroe with Regard. Sorry, I'm too English for pronunciation. This was a ballad, a nice ballad, a French ballad, an aggressively French ballad. It was like Voila, except different, I guess. Not really particularly interesting to me. I didn't think it was that impressive. There's not that much to say about it, unfortunately. I can understand that there are other people who would absolutely adore this song, but it was not my cup of tea. So I'm going to put it in C tier. Next up, Georgia with Psikebi with the song On Replay. They gave it a good go. They really gave it a good go, and they were stars. They were well known from Junior Eurovision, and they tried. And in the semi-final, 1 out of 3 of them could sing and hit notes, and 1 out of 3 ain't bad. Unfortunately, it's not good either. This was not a good song. It was catchy in the worst possible way, in that it got stuck in my head for a long time when I was trying to do something else. And it's kind of annoying. I don't think this is a particularly good song, and just out of spite for it getting stuck in my head, I'm putting it in D tier. You know what? Top of D tier. I think it's bad, but because it got stuck in my head, I'm not going to put it that far down. It's just not good. And I'm sorry. D tier in this year is for not good. I feel I'm being very mean this year, but I genuinely don't think this was that good a year. I'm sorry. Germany up next. Sarah Engels with Fire. This was, when I first heard it, I was like, oh, this is fun. This is funky. This isn't bad. This is alright. It sort of stood out a bit. I liked it a lot. It had just come after Israel in the semis. But actually, this is the most generic Eurovision song I think I've ever heard in my life. It's fun. It's danceable. You know, it's got that going for it, but it is painfully generic. There's been a lot of other songs like this, just like trying to be Toy or Fuego or I don't know. And it's the song about liars again, and I feel like I've heard it before. The production is quite nice. The instrumental is quite nice. It's quite fun, but it's so painfully generic. I can't give it more than a C tier. Greece up next. We have Achilles with Ferto. This is a great fun song. Some people thought this was going to win, and it didn't. But it did pretty well. This is a good song. The staging was great. It was a wonderful thing to watch. Very chaotic. Almost too chaotic, I think. I think there was too many changes in pace for what it was. But because it was such a fast song, if they didn't change the pace up a lot, then it would have been a bit repetitive, I think. Because I think that the main hook, the main chorus, isn't that strong. So repeating it a lot, repeating it too much would have felt repetitive. And so they had to switch it up quite a lot, switch up the pace, and that's why you have that, like all these different sections of song, which have a different vibe and a different sort of different beats and different melodies, and it was a little bit much, a little bit overwhelming, but it was fun. And so I'm gonna go ahead and put it in A tier, just above Denmark, below Denmark, above Denmark. Next up is Israel. Now, I'm opposed to Israel being in the contest. I don't think they should be in the contest, and I especially don't like that this song was actually very good. It sucks how good this song is. It would be in A tier for me. That is where I would put it, and it would probably be close to the top of A tier. But it's Israel. Were it just the song, were there not any baggage attached to that, it would be an A tier song. But there is baggage, and you can't avoid it, no matter how much you proclaim death of the artist. And I don't mean that as like a threat. I mean that as in the death of the author theory. That's what I meant to say. Is what I meant to. I didn't say that. That's not what I. That I know I'd said that, but that's not what I meant. I didn't mean. Moving on, Italy. This is a wonderful little throwback to 70s disco. It's a good time. It's a really good time. It's just a guy who loves his wife. He's just a guy who loves his wife, and good for him. An acceptable straight couple. Isn't that lovely? Like Tu Cancion from Spain in 2018. Another good straight couple. It's nice, and it's funky and fun and a good dance bop. It doesn't quite hit that hard. It doesn't quite sort of reach new heights. It doesn't stop any shows, but it's a fun song to listen to. So we are going to put it in A tier, just above Finland. Next up, Latvia. Atvara with Ena. This didn't make it through to the finals. Much like Armenia, Azerbaijan, Estonia and Georgia, which you'll notice are all down here at the bottom. So far I've agreed with the semi-finals who gets to go out ranking. This time, however, I don't. I think this should have gone out through to the final, because I think this is a great song. This is a very, very pretty song. A wonderful ballad. Very, very beautiful ballad to listen to. And I'm going to go ahead and stick it in B tier. It does take a while to get to the good part, and so there is that. Next up, Lithuania. We have Lion Seeker with Solo Quiero Más.
Solo quiero more.
In a lot of different languages, this song. This has wonderful vibes. I really, really adore this. It does take a little while to start. I think once you get to the second part of the first verse, where it brings in this sort of percussion loop that sounds like creaking. Oh, it's wonderful. And he like moves his hands at the same time because he's got that silver skin on. It sort of makes him look like a robot moving, but he's dressed up as like this hooded death cultist, and then he comes out of it, and it's wonderful. Beautiful staging, and I really like the song. At the time, when he was singing it, and this was in the semis and in the finals, it felt like he was a bit late on some of the cues. Especially with the line, even if we're living in a mad world, sometimes it felt like he missed it by a little bit, like a tenth or 2/10 of a second. It's not much, but it's noticeable. And it's not ideal. But I think this is a wonderful, wonderful song. And we are going to put it in A tier. I think it's a great song. Next up, Luxembourg, Eva Maria with Mother Nature. Or, as Graham Norton would put it, My Furniture. And that cursed it for the rest of the week. Was that Rylan that said that? I think it might have been Rylan, because this didn't get out of the semis, and that was Rylan that was commentating. It is one of the songs of all time, and this is definitely the worst of the 3 Luxembourg songs that they've brought out since they came back. Poupée Montée le Son was amazing. Fighter was really good. This one is not quite so interesting. It doesn't stand out, and it kind of just sounds like a song that, like, I heard it and I thought, I've heard this before, and I'm not quite sure when. Maybe it's like Children of the Universe or something by Molly, but I feel like I've heard it before, so it didn't stand out. It was good though, and I liked the message, and I liked the staging, and I liked the props, and I liked the outfit, but the song just didn't hit for me because it felt like something I'd heard before. Sorry. So we're going to put it into C tier. Where in C tier? The answer is just behind France. Next up, Malta. Aidan with Bella. This is a ballad. It's a ballad. It's not that interesting, unfortunately. It's alright. And the aesthetics were on point. I liked the tank top leather sort of cowboy outfit. I thought that was fun. I liked the carousel. And I think it's meaningful and nice and pretty, but to me it was not that interesting to listen to. I probably wouldn't listen to it again because it didn't have any moments that I really liked. It didn't have anything I disliked, but it didn't have anything I liked, so we're going to put it in C tier. Next up, Moldova. Satoshi with Viva Moldova.
Viva Moldova, aloha, adio.
This is really fun, really catchy, and it was the first song I heard of the whole lot because it was the first one to be played in the semis, in semi-final 1. And it was a lovely introduction to the whole year, and it made me think that it was going to be a better year than it actually was. Oops a daisy. But no, I think the Viva Moldova is a wonderful song, and we are going to go ahead and put it straight up into A tier. I think it's lovely. Now, there were a lot of ballads this year, and I wouldn't have guessed that from the first semi-final, because for some reason they decided to put all of the dance songs in the first semi-final and then all of the ballads in the second one. So what we had was a first semi-final that was like over the top and full on, just energy all the time, constantly. And then a second semi-final which bored you to sleep. But that's just the way the cookie crumbles. I don't know who chose the orders of things in the semi-final, who gets to go into semi-finals, into which one, but yeah, that was bad. That was a really bad idea. Next up, Montenegro, Tamara Živkovic with Nova Zora. This is a song that is got good moments. I like the instrumental parts. I think that it's had good staging. I thought that it was fun at points, like pretty danceable sometimes. And then at other points, it wasn't sure whether it wanted to be like horror or danceable. And it kind of makes the vibe feel a little confused. Not particularly good, but not particularly bad. We're gonna go ahead and put it into C tier. Here. Next up is my personal second home, because I live with two nationalities. Norway. I gotta say, it says Jonas Love with Ya Ya Ya. This is the best one. This is my S tier, just straight to the top. I love this one. This was wonderful. This was great fun. I really loved it. I think this was a great song, and I'm not biased. I'm a bit biased. I'm very biased. Norway makes the best Eurovision songs, just all of them. Every single Norwegian song is just the best ones, except for the ones that aren't, but we don't count those because they're not canon. Like last year, that wasn't canon. That was just a mediocre song. Who sent that? I don't know. Who's lighter? What's Kyle? I don't know. Probably not even real. Norway, we just send the best ones, and there's no contest for that. We're just the best at Eurovision. What can I say? We're just the best at Eurovision. And this one was awesome. It wasn't perfect. The key change at the end, I don't know, I don't care for key changes. And for some reason, there's a moment that sounds a lot like the countdown theme, where it goes la 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 la. And the countdown theme is, of course, do 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 do. Pretty similar. It's like the leitmotif, the countdown leitmotif. Not my favourite, that bit with the countdown, but the rest of the song, awesome. Loved it. Wonderful rock. Really fun to listen to. Just perfect. A wonderful song. Next up, Poland. Alicia with Pray. Now this was a song with good moments. You could tell she's a great singer. The song was not good. It was half time, which I can appreciate, I suppose. You know, instead of going for a ballad with a fast EDM beat, it had like a sort of trap almost beat, but it didn't go that hard. And the song that was written didn't push her as a vocalist very hard. I felt like it could have done a lot more. Overall, not that interesting a song. I think it probably goes into C tier. Next up, Portugal, Bandidos Tocante with Rosa. This was a ballad, but it was a ballad of five people making five guys making potato-based meals and meat. Also making a song with harmonies. Very nice. It was actually very pretty to listen to. However, it does take a little while to get started. And if you're not into that sort of thing, it could be a bit dull. I liked it, but I can't give it more than a B tier just because it isn't the most interesting song. Maybe I have bad reasoning, but it's a fine song. It's just not there's better songs, so B tier. I did like the harmonies. I liked it a lot. I thought it was a very pretty song. B tier. Next up, Romania. Alexandra Capitanescu with Choke Me. This was a really banging rock song. I really liked it. I liked the messaging behind it. Was cool. It was great fun. It was really hard sort of rock. Hallelujah. I wasn't sure about the opera. The opera singing. I'm not a big fan of that in general, which means that like Wasted Love wasn't exactly my style from last year, and I wasn't a big fan of the operatic singing in this one either. But I liked it. I thought it was a good song. So we're going to go ahead and put it in B tier. Next up, San Marino. Senhit's back at it again for the 15th time. Gonna try again to get into the finals. Instead of Flo Rida, this time she brought Boy George. And unfortunately, the only good thing about Boy George is watching him eat like disgusting things on I'm a Celebrity, because he has some is apparently not a very nice guy, and also has some suspicious views about Israel. Not great, but the song, they only gave Boy George 2 lines, which is very funny because it feels like he like demanded £3 million, and they were like, well, if we gave you £2, can you do 2 lines? And I was like, fine, 2 lines it is, and they're terrible lines. It's all the boys in the club sipping cool champagne. It's like, okay, sure. The song's fine. It's well produced. The beat's nice, it hits hard. It's a bit generic. It's very generic. There's not that much to say about it. It's a song. Senhit elevates it, makes it not bad. The presence of Senhit is what saves this one. So it's a C tier. Next up, we have Serbia. Lavina with Kraj Mene. This hits hard. What a wonderful scream at the end. Wow, that was amazing. Really, really, really great song. I loved listening to this. It takes a bit too long to start. I think it takes like a minute for anything to happen, which is fine. I don't mind a song with a long intro, but when you've only got 3 minutes for Eurovision, you know, I like progressive house and prog rock and progressive trance that takes like 10 minutes to get through a whole song. I love that. But when you've only got 3 minutes and the first bit is like a build-up that actually doesn't do anything by itself, and there are other songs this year that fall foul of that. I think the first part of Lithuania's song could have, you know, got there a bit quicker. But other than that, I think it was really, really good, and his wonderful scream at the end just elevates it to an A tier. We're going to put it here. Next up, Sweden. Felicia with My System. I was surprised. I knew this wasn't going to be popular with the judges, because it's not that sort of, there's not like that much going on. It's quite simple. Like it doesn't have the most intricate staging, and it doesn't have the most sort of complex, you know, it's just a like big room house kind of thing, but it's banging. I love this song, and I was very sad when it did really terribly in the votes, because this song is awesome to listen to. Definitely an S tier. If there was anything I wanted to say negative about it, I think it's a little bit repeats the bridge quite a lot, and without too much variation. Like the bridge between the verse and like there's the first verse is good, the second verse, it's got that thing where the second verse is half the length of the first, so you can just get back to the bridge and then the drop. And it's like, there should have been more written here. Because right now it's a good first verse, bridge, drop, short second verse, bridge, drop, and then you have a third sort of bit, bridge, drop. And it's like, I wish there was a bit more to it. And at the same time, I could probably make this song in like an hour in FL. Like you've got your sort of what's essentially almost a saw wave with a bass and a couple of other sounds, the beat 4 on the floor with the hi-hat on the offbeat. It's not that complicated. I could probably make it very, very easily. And it's like, okay, sure. But it was an absolute banger. You know, no complaints from me. I think it was awesome. Wonderful, wonderful song. Deserved more than it got. Next up, Switzerland. Veronica Fusaro with Alice, and another Alice. But not Albania's Alice. This is Switzerland's Alice. And it didn't make it through to the finals. Probably for a good reason, in that it's not that interesting. It's a little bit generic. And I forgot it as soon as I heard it. I had to listen to it again, and then I forgot it again. The staging was cool. It had strings, many red strings. The song was not that interesting. They even tried to do sort of like rock with it, but it didn't land. It didn't stick the landing. We're putting it in D tier. Next up, Ukraine, Leleka with Rydnim. This was a wonderful singing voice, a lovely, lovely voice, and a really pretty song as well. However, it wasn't quite, it didn't hit that hard, it didn't move me that much, it wasn't that interesting. So while it was good, and I really liked it, it wasn't like astounding, and especially after what has been Ukraine just pumping out, sending out hit after banger after banger after banger with Bird of Prey, Teresa and Maria, Heart of Steel, Stefania, and then like Under the Ladder, 1944, and others. They just kept sending great songs. This is just like not quite as interesting in comparison, but still good. Still a really pretty song. Just not like, just doesn't blow you out of the water. So I'm going to put it in B tier. And finally, we have the country where I live, the United Kingdom. This is a terrible country to live in. Ha 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 ha. They really hate trans people here. Ha 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 ha. That's great for me because I'm a trans people. Anyway, at least we're really bad at Eurovision, but this was a great song. Look Mum No Computer from YouTube with 1, 2, 3, or as he would pronounce it, dry. And as everyone in GCSE German like 10 years ago would pronounce it, dry. Because it's been, I think it might have been longer than that since I went to GCSEs. Oh god, I think it's been 11 years. Oh. That's fine, everything is fine. Look Mum No Computer, an excellent producer, making synths, creating this wonderful sound design landscape in 1, 2, 3. I think the sound design in it is wonderful. I think the beat is wonderful. I think the vocals are okay. You know, he's not a professional singer, that's fine. You know, he's like me, for real. I think this is a good song. I think this is a very danceable song. I think it's a very fun song, and I like that the UK didn't take ourselves too seriously this time, because no one's going to vote for us anyway, you know? We're just gonna like, we're gonna send in the best song ever, we'll get no points, and you know, whatever, that's fine. We should just own it. And you know what? I want to own it, because if you're listening to this, BBC, Eurovision, anyone, I want to represent the UK. I could do it. I could absolutely do it. And you know what? I'd put it in B tier, because it's a good song. I don't particularly like the millennial bit at the end, where it goes from being sort of 4 on the floor to that sort of the second triplet, sort of triplet beat, but only with the second one, and then it's got that stomp clap sort of millennial. Not too interesting. The rest of the song, really good. And you know what? If you consider me for Eurovision next year, if you consider Queen Melodis for Eurovision next year, I'll bump it right up to S tier. You thought about that? Have you thought about that? I could do it. I could do it. I could write a song. I could write a song that doesn't take itself too seriously. That's just a fun song to dance to. I'll do it. I'll do it. I volunteer. Please pick me. I'd be good. I'd be great. Queen Melodis, Eurovision, UK 2026. Putting it out there. Just saying. Just saying. You could. I'm right here. And I'm ready. Consider it. That was my application for the role. That was my application. Anyway, that was all of them. Kind of a mid-year for Eurovision, I'll be honest, but we had some bangers. Definitely not as good as 2024, 2023, 2022, 2021 or 2025, or any year since, I think 2016 was the last year to be this mid. And 2016 was pretty mid, 2015 was pretty mid too. 14 was good, that was the best year. Anyway, time for me to sign off. Goodbye.